Imagine you're a German tank commander rolling across a battlefield in 1943. You've crushed everything in your path. Your armor feels invincible, your guns unmatched. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, a single infantryman takes aim with a strange tube on his shoulder. A split second later, your tank erupts in flames. That was the nightmare American soldiers carried to the front lines. The bazooka, a deceptively simple weapon that changed the balance of power in World War II. But how did this clumsy-looking launcher become Eisenhower's so-called weapon of victory? What made it so terrifying to the Germans? And why did its impact echo far beyond the war itself? The idea of the bazooka began years before the war. American designers were experimenting with rocket technology and shaped charge explosives, weapons that could punch through armor using concentrated blasts rather than sheer force. By 1942, these experiments became reality, a light, shoulder-fired rocket launcher that could be carried by just one man. It was crude, it was simple, but it was revolutionary. Until then, infantry had little chance against tanks. Now, with the bazooka, even a lone soldier could stop a steel giant in its tracks. For Eisenhower and his generals, it was nothing less than a battlefield equalizer. When the bazooka first appeared in combat, it shocked German tank crews who had been used to dominating battlefields with impunity. Suddenly, their heavily armored machines, once considered unstoppable, could be disabled by a weapon that looked like little more than a pipe on a soldier's shoulder. Reports from North Africa described Panzers bursting into flames after just one well-placed rocket, a sight that shook German morale. American troops quickly adapted new tactics around the weapon. Instead of fleeing from tanks, small squads could hide in ambush, waiting until armor passed by before striking from close range. Veterans recalled crouching in hedgerows of Normandy or in the rubble of Italian villages, holding their fire until the enemy was practically on top of them, then unleashing the bazooka at point-blank range. The psychological effect was enormous. Infantrymen who once felt helpless against armor suddenly felt like hunters. The Germans soon nicknamed it the Offenrohr or stovepipe because of its appearance, but behind the jokes was real fear. Tank crews began refusing to enter urban areas without heavy infantry support, knowing a bazooka team could be lurking behind any corner. Commanders were forced to change battlefield strategies, slowing down assaults and spreading resources thin. Even when it failed to penetrate the heaviest armor, the mere presence of bazookas reshaped the way the enemy fought. For Eisenhower, this wasn't just a weapon. It was a tool that shifted the balance of confidence. He knew wars were as much about morale as firepower, and the bazooka gave his soldiers something priceless: the belief that no enemy was unbeatable. The bazooka's influence didn't end with the fall of Nazi Germany. Instead, it became the blueprint for decades of warfare. As soon as World War II was over, the weapon was shipped to other conflicts and quickly made its mark. In Korea, bazookas were among the first anti-tank weapons U.S. soldiers carried. While they struggled against the heavily armored Soviet-made T-34 tanks used by North Korean forces, the bazooka was invaluable for destroying bunkers, field fortifications, and even machine gun nests. Soldiers often described how a single shot could silence an enemy stronghold that might otherwise require hours of artillery bombardment. Though limited, it bought precious time until more advanced weapons could be fielded. The bazooka's DNA also lived on in the Soviet Union. After studying captured models, Soviet engineers developed the RPG series, most famously the RPG-7, which became one of the most widely used weapons in the world. From Vietnam to Afghanistan, the RPG became the insurgents' answer to tanks, helicopters, and even buildings. Ironically, the Soviet RPG owed its existence to the American invention it once faced in battle. Its legacy wasn't just technological. The bazooka changed strategy itself. Tank commanders, once confident that armor could plow through infantry unchecked, now had to coordinate closely with infantry and air support. Wars could no longer be dominated by tanks alone. Instead, they became complex, multi-dimensional struggles where small squads with rocket launchers could halt massive offensives. Even beyond battlefields, the bazooka left its mark on geopolitics. During the Cold War, the knowledge that guerrilla fighters armed with simple, portable weapons could threaten armored divisions made superpowers cautious. Proxy wars became testing grounds for these rocket launchers, proving again and again that even the mightiest military machines could fall to the ingenuity of a single soldier. Today, when we see modern anti-tank systems like the American Javelin or the Ukrainian use of portable launchers against Russian armor, we are seeing the echo of the bazooka. Its invention in the 1940s planted the seed of a revolutionary idea. No machine is invincible, and sometimes the smallest weapon can change the course of history. The bazooka wasn't the flashiest weapon of World War II. It wasn't as terrifying as the V-2 rocket or as massive as the Tiger tank, but its impact was undeniable. For the first time, ordinary soldiers had a tool that could level the battlefield against armored behemoths. It wasn't just a weapon of destruction, it was a weapon of hope. It gave infantry the chance to fight back, to stand their ground, and to change the course of battles. And in the words of Eisenhower, it truly earned its title as a weapon of victory. Weapons often define wars, but sometimes it's the unexpected ones that change everything. If you found the story of the bazooka eye-opening, then you'll also want to check out our deep dive into Nazi leaders after the war, death, prison, or freedom. It reveals what happened to the men who shaped Hitler's war machine, and how some of them managed to slip away from the justice they deserved.